In a secret government facility, two men are discussing a failed operation. Gibbons interrupts them and tells them of a new project he has been working on. Instead of using military-trained agents, he intends to train criminals to complete the most dangerous missions. At a country club, a senator pulls up in a nice convertible and hands the keys to the valet. Instead of parking the car, the valet steals the car and drives off. He makes a quick detour to attach some cameras to the car and begins to run from the police. The thief is Xander Cage, an adrenaline junkie and an extreme sport enthusiast. As he is running from the police, Xander starts to stream to his fans, mentioning all of the bad policies this senator has been promoting, and that he must be punished. He drives the car off a bridge, and before he crashes, uses a parachute to land safely. His crew comes to pick him up, and drives away. When Xander arrives home, his crew throws him a surprise party, congratulating him on the latest heist. While working his way through the crowd of people, a loud explosion blows out the windows, and armed men enter, kicking out everyone. Once everyone leaves, one of the men shoots Xander and knocks him out. Xander wakes up in a diner and doesn't remember anything. He notices the waitress being nervous, and looks around. A couple of the customers get up and try to rob the diner. He springs into action, slamming one man onto the table and disarming the other. Gibbons comes out of the corner, acknowledging his quick thinking and skills. He tells Xander he passed his test. While ignoring Xander's complaints, Gibbons and his men start to pack things up, and before Xander can say anything else, the waitress shoots him with another tranquilizer. This time, he wakes up on a plane surrounded by soldiers and other finalists who passed the diner test. The soldiers tie them together, strap parachutes on them, and release the parachutes, sending them flying out of the plane. After the plane flies away, they start walking and realize they are in a Colombian drug field. Guards start to drive over, and the other two finalists start to run. Thinking it's still a test, Xander stays to confront them, but to his surprise, gets hit and knocked out. Xander and the finalists are restrained in a shack. When the boss enters, the three of them laugh at him, still believing it to be a test. Xander keeps taunting the boss, and he threatens him with a machete. After smelling the blood on the machete, he realizes it's not a test, and kicks the boss in the chest, and the others keep him down. Xander gets out of his restraints as a couple of helicopters start shooting at the compound. During the commotion, Xander carries one of the injured finalists while the other runs away by himself. Xander drops him off in a bush nearby and runs to find a vehicle. He finds a dirt bike and drives off with a helicopter on his tail. Dodging all the bullets, he heads towards the edge of the compound and jumps through the barbed wire fence. After stowing the bike in a sewer tunnel, he runs back to the injured finalist, but is surrounded by Gibbons' men, and he's taken down. In the morning, Gibbons arrives to congratulate Xander on passing the final test. He offers Xander a deal. If he completes a mission for him, Xander will be forgiven of his criminal activities. If he doesn't, Gibbons will gladly put him in federal prison. Not having much of a choice, Xander accepts. After Xander arrives in the Czech Republic, he goes to meet his handler for the assignment. He meets Milan, a member of the Czech secret police. At night, they head to a rich part of the city and enter a bar. Milan tells Xander his target, a group of terrorists called Anarchy 99, and the leader, Yorgi. Before Milan can finish the briefing, Xander bolts off trying to finish the mission as soon as possible. He reaches Yorgi with the excuse of trying to buy nice cars, but before Yorgi's security throws him out, Xander throws Milan under the bus to gain his trust. Coincidentally, Yorgi's brother is a fan of Xander's videos, and they all sit down for a chat. Xander asks for 10 Ferraris, and Yorgi's assistant, Yelena, tells him to wire $1.2 million in 48 hours. After they finish business talks, they start the party. The next morning, Xander receives a call from Gibbons. He asks why Xander went off script, and to make him happy, Xander gives Gibbons the intel he got from partying with them. Impressed by Xander's abilities, he makes him stay longer and get closer to Yorgi and his men. Xander meets Toby, an agent Gibbons sent to help him. Toby brings him some new toys and gadgets he can use to protect himself. Toby gives him a gun with multiple ammunition, an X-ray binocular, and exploding bandages. Yorgi gets the cars that Xander requested, and the money is transferred to Yorgi's account. He gifts Xander with a special car, and as Yorgi starts to trust him, he invites Xander to a party that night. Milan hides on the roof and cleans the window for a better shot, but accidentally breaks the wall. Thinking that Xander set him up, they have a tense stare down. Xander denies his accusation, and Georgi gives him a chance to prove himself, and they both jump in the car to chase Milan. When they catch up to Milan, Georgi takes aim, but Xander quickly shoots him. Fully trusting him now, Georgi gives him a membership to Anarchy 99. Georgi takes Xander to the Anarchy 99 hideout, and he stays the night. In the morning, Xander looks around trying to gather information. Yelena walks into the room and he hides. When she attempts to open Georgi's safe, he approaches her, and she reveals that she is an undercover cop as well. Yelena and Xander have lunch together. He tells her what his mission is and also that he didn't kill Milan. During the meal, she receives a phone call from Georgi's men. He says that Georgi knows Xander's true identity and to lead him across the street to kill him. After hanging up, she tells Xander that Georgi is working on something more dangerous, but she doesn't know exactly what. She also tells him that Georgi knows about him and has an assassin waiting for him across the street. While heading for the exit, he decides to save Yelena and makes a commotion by knocking over food and hitting her to make it seem like she's innocent. When he exits the restaurant, he uses a silver tray to shine light into the sniper's eyes and makes his escape by sliding down the stairs. Before he enters his car, some men show up, bag his head and restrain him. They throw him into the car and drive off. Xander gets released in an opera house and meets Gibbons. Knowing that Xander's cover is blown, Gibbons tells him to go home. Xander is relieved, until Gibbons tells him they are going to wipe out all Anarchy 99 members. He tries to tell Gibbons about Yelena and how she saved his life. Gibbons refuses to help and tells him that they have been working with Russian scientists to produce a biochemical weapon, and therefore they all must die, including Yelena. Xander decides to save her himself. He sneaks his way into the Anarchy 99 hideout, setting up explosives on the way. He sees Georgi and Yelena head to the basement and follows them. After wandering the tunnels, Georgi allows Yelena to see the weapon he has been working on. The scientists tell Georgi it's ready and hand him the remote. They hide behind a barrier, and he sets off one of the bombs. The scientists and security try to escape, but the bomb goes off, releasing the chemicals and kills them all. Xander sees all this through his X-ray binoculars. When he hears some guards coming towards him, he hides and takes them out, but not before one of them hits the alarm. Georgi's men spot him in the tunnels, and Xander barely dodges the bullets. Xander gets to the surface. He finds a bike and makes his escape jumping from roof to roof. Once he clears the compound, he sets off the explosives. Xander goes back to the safe house, but to his surprise, Milan is waiting for him. He tells Xander that he switched over to Georgi's side because he pays better and holds Xander at gunpoint. As he is about to kill Xander, Yelena shoots through the door and gets Milan first. Xander calls Gibbons with the new intel he retrieved. Gibbons is happy with the intel and accepts to get Yelena's immunity. He orders Xander to go home now. Knowing that Georgi will set the weapon off soon, he convinces Yelena to work with him to end this once and for all. He picks up Toby and tells him to arm his car with all the weapons he can. He heads to the Czech police and strategizes with them to take out the satellite towers and provide him with a plane. He jumps out of the plane and snowboards down the mountain. Georgi's guards spot him and chase him on their snowmobiles. When Xander spots them, he sets off an explosion, starting an avalanche. He continues down the mountain with the avalanche right behind him. The avalanche takes out the guards, and Xander jumps onto the satellite tower to avoid being buried. This also stops the security cameras from working. Unfortunately, soon after, Xander is captured by Georgi's men. He is taken to Georgi and Yelena. He tells Yelena that he knew she was an undercover agent all along. He goes on to reveal his master plan of getting rid of all the governments of the world by bombing the most populated cities. As he is about to shoot Yelena and Xander, the police arrive and raid the compound. Yelena and Xander chase Georgi to the basement. Georgi arrives first and arms a boat with the chemical weapon. Xander, Yelena, and the police chase after Georgi and see him driving off on a speedboat. Xander shoots Georgi in the chest, and to make sure he dies, shoots the boat as well, setting off an explosion. Everybody starts to chase the device. Gibbons heads out with Toby to get air support, and Yelena and Xander chase after it in the new car. Xander gets a harpoon and grapples onto the boat. Once on the boat, he opens the control panel and tries to figure out how to disarm the bombs. He flips one of the missiles over and pulls the control panel out before it reaches its target, sending the boat under sea. After sinking a couple feet, it implodes, and the chemicals are destroyed in the water. Xander resurfaces soon after, shivering in the cold water, shouting that he wants to go to Bora Bora. Xander is enjoying his time in Bora Bora with Yelena when Gibbons calls. He tells him he has another assignment,